Hello, it's Kate in the Nest, and thank you for joining me. It's time for some scrappy bits and making what I like to call mini makes. Now, this is when I, like a lot of others, just share with you, um, just impromptuly, what it feels like to just have a look at our little piles of tiny bits and pieces. No matter how um, tidy we try to be, we end up, well, I do, with little tiny bits and pieces of things. Now, to me, they're every single um, um, bit of treasure. I can't throw them away. And I think if you've been with me for a while, I struggled for a while about calling them scraps, but I am okay with calling them scrappy bits. So that's why I call this um, mini makes with scrappy bits. So we are heading off for the weekend, my husband and I like to take something small and containable in the car and to do while he's got a function on, so I will have some time just to make some things and stitch. So rather than a huge piece, I want something little and tactile in my hand. And I am going to take my Wellington horsewhip with me, now being affectionately called the snatchel, as in the snatch and take all you need. So this is what I'll stitch with. But the inspiration, I've been showing you it now for a while, well, a week. But the inspiration for this afternoon's make is that little piece there that I've since you've seen me last, I've embroidered that. And this one, which I've further embellished and added bits to. But that rectangle there and this smaller rectangle began as mini makes from scrappy bits. So I know I've done this before, but different scraps, different shapes and sizes, different inspiration means that it's always fresh, always fun, and I hope that you'll stick around. So with that in mind, let's get started. And in starting, I'm hoping that you have something to do with you. I hope you're well, and yeah, whatever you're making, you may not be making scrappy bits. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to challenge myself. I've got my round tray underneath here because I felt in a round mood, and I have my treasure nest, one of my treasure nests. My newsletter is coming out, and I'm going to make it easier. I've got I'll do a list. Well, what am I trying to say? My newsletter is coming out on next week, so if you want you want some reading, that's there for you. But I was thinking as I started talking that stream of consciousness about my treasure nest workshop in Perth. And I'm very, very excited because I ran this one in Melbourne last year, and I've decided to repeat it in Perth in one day, which means that it'll be just a beautiful collage explosion using scrappy bits. So in a way, scrappy bits and the treasure nest go together. So that was containing all my treasures. Now I have quite a number of different scraps here, and I call them scraps, but they're small pieces of blanket. This was originally cut to be a pouch for a workshop, but it is just so crinkled that I pulled it from the mix, and I'm just thinking size-wise. So I want my scrappy bits to fit within this tray, and we've got a nice selvage along there. So let me, what am I going to do? What if I halve this? And here. So I've sort of decided that by doing that, that this is going to be devoted to scrappy bits. What do I call these little things that we're making? They're really mini collages. And that's gone very crooked. And even me, I don't think I can live with that. Very hot here today and hotter again tomorrow. So the blanket might make my hands a little bit warm. Okay, so I'm doing that one across there. That is, many of you might like that size. I think that that size is too small for me at this moment. These have become quite square, so they're like that. Maybe a little bit longer and skinnier. And there's those ones, and look at this beautiful blanket. That's a nice size and shape. So let's get going. I love watching people who make 3 things at a time, but I've tried that and I can't do it. So we'll just go one at a time. And I'm pausing here because I actually, I've been harvesting something already. In fact, this could be a mini make in itself. I was going to put it on and then I realized that I've got some blanket already behind this. So I'll get another bit. So I'd only tacked that onto there. So I've got a little bit of pink silk. Now when I'm putting backgrounds down, more and more I'm going for bigger pieces, and then as she says, bigger pieces. So look at that. That's another piece of that beautiful old cloth from Michelle. As in, not old, but just vintage is the word I wanted to use there. Okay, so that's a story in itself that I can embroider. I've got a little bit of lace there, so that's wanting to be on this piece. My eyes are going everywhere because I realized in that nest I mainly had bits of blanket, which now I don't need as many of. I've been using this. I decided that's not bright enough for me. I just realized on the floor I've got all of these little bits. There's a nice raggy piece that could go on. So I'm not thinking colour, I'm not thinking work, I'm just thinking that's a nice piece of linen. And we may as this will go right down to the end. This is plain, which means that I can put things up over the top of it. So we've got that one, we've got this. I've started that. So see, I'm already being impromptu, and I've got that. But I still haven't put on the bigger work. All right, back to scrappy bits. Look at that as an applique. Going there. I had a lot more pieces of looking for that piece. Okay, I'm going to get a little basket over here. That's like my tablecloth I got. That's pretty, that's pretty. That's pretty. Got a hexagon. No, it's still got the paper in it. And I've got this. So if you're interested, I'm just playing lucky dips in there. All of a sudden, this is the one that's speaking to me. So I have this beautiful linen in the background that I've already started to thread paint. You will have seen these flowers before. They came off out of a Beck kit. I'm just building a garden. This one will have to, that's too bright for this work. But that's a start. Cut that little stalk off there. So on this one we've got, oh, that's right, I was going to look at that. Why don't we? Stand up to have, yep, those colours are conducive, and if that goes under there like that, we have the layout for one. So why not? Let's have a fun little stitch. I didn't show you all the cottons that I got yesterday. Now these were from two different shops. This is the Wonderfill and this is DMC. So let's use the Wonderfill. Christening them all. Now, for those of you who've been following the story of the Wellington collection, very interesting things are happening. And I have to say that because I love the snatchel, I love the horsewhip so much, it caused me to redesign my initial pouch altogether. So I'll be showing you that over the weekend. It's Friday here. And part of that learning, and I really want to share it, is that the more I used the fabrics, I got the feel. You may remember I'm wanting to be influenced by Fleur, and I went pink and green, but on the pouch I started with green and I just couldn't get the balance. So I've learned, for me, I need to start with the pink and then I can add the green in. So I want to be here. I want to get things down as well as be slightly decorative. I forgot to do a knot, but we'll double stitch this here. And efficient is the way I like to do this, especially on a mini make. It's likely that this will be cut up into different sections anyway. Oh, okay, so there's the first learning. That is when I use that stick and stitch. And I love doing the embroidery, but that product, for my style, I think I will use it for other things. And just then my needle went into a bit of sticky, which I obviously haven't washed off. So I can still dissolve it, but when you're stitching, you want to be having every little moment pleasurable. So again, through a lot of layers there. But what I do like is I've got some embroidery under there. So let's now make these running stitches. And see, that's sort of unrecognizable as a flower, but that's okay because I'm using it for the color and the texture here. We'll add some things around her, hopefully. So I'm just doing an overstitch. Now, when we're collaging, I do like to leave spots to put space to put things under. So I'm going to go under here, leave that, and yeah, I'll finish it. I could have zipped across, but I'll conserve this beautiful thread. Come up here. So if I just go back to, and I don't want every video about this, but just a little heads up, if you are in Western Australia and thinking about workshops, you need to get in fast. And I would love to make treasure nests in the West with you. Because I love rhyming as well. finish that one off. So in a way now we have all pieces with some stitching in them. That one, that one, that one, and that one. So they're not fully down. That one will stay, so I can rescue that pin. This one will stay, rescue that pin, and we can set that aside. Then we've got this. I've got some of my Indian sari, beautiful silk, that we might start on another. Oh, we've got that one. Put that there so we can sort of see a garden starting to appear. I think, look how bright that yellow is. Probably not. This is more than a scrap, but would the pink go there? Yep. Oh. Okay, so I'm thinking that these leaves here can join onto these leaves here, and we've got pink and another colour. I think I might just leave that right across there, because I'm not, am I likely to use the wheelbarrow-y type of thing? I don't think so. So let's go with that. I like that flower there, and I'll save that for another time in another story. I've got this. Oh, there we go. Nearly happened automatically. We're just echoing. So sometimes the repeat of the same fabric and you'll be saying that's looking ugly. Probably is. So we'll wind that back, and then we'll look for some other pretty things. Not that. Let's just start into this corner over here. Let's put that last little tiny bit of quilting. This is why really you can never do this too many times, because you learn as you go, and every combination is completely different. And even by just changing, I like that more because I'm going to ruche that a bit. So we do see some of the wheelbarrow. Not ready for that yet. So let's get a bit of wool. So have you got plans for the weekend? It's a change of month as well, which seems incredible. Up to February. I actually had some stationery arrive today. And it's very, it's very, very interesting for me to see that I'm back into planning big time, mainly because I have a very organized, I need to be organized at the moment, but I was a bit of an addict to buying beautiful things to put in my follow faxi type of diaries and stickers, etc. And because I wasn't going out much, I wasn't using them. But all of a sudden, I am back. And I've even put a little set together to take away. Do you do that? I know a lot of people make a travel journal, which I will. Of course, I've got to be thinking about what projects will I pack to work on. So our program is we have 2 half-day workshops on the Monday for Woods, on the Tuesday a day of sightseeing and vintage shopping, and then more Fleur, and then I'm teaching on the final day. So such a beautiful combination to be able to go away for a holiday, learn from others, and yeah, just enjoy the company. Now see, I've been talking wildly and you're going, what is she doing? I've got that little bit down, and now I'm going to come over here and stitch some flowers. And because this is variegated wool, every flower should end up a slightly different hue. So I'm putting little centers in these ones over the white. And again, it's not earth-shatteringly noticeable, but adding texture and of course the joy of stitching it. So this one is like peachy apricot, whereas that was pale pink. And we'll do 3. So we'll go to one further away, just in case the colour comes out exactly the same. See that one you can hardly see. Let's make up one here. Not even counting my petals. Like that. Still got, oh, so they are, oh, I'm quite happy with myself because I did this dye, pink, sort of lemon and yellow, and now more orange in this one. Excuse me. Can't get the needle through. And we'll do it. I was only going to do 3, wasn't I? I've got threads, so I have to do 5. This one can be bigger. One, 2, 3, 4. Make another petal here. Here, this one will be a small one. Oh, I went quiet. That's the joy of stitching, isn't it? All right. You're probably thinking that needs a lot of work. Yes, it does. But we've got a big one, a middle-sized one. I remember I was going to keep them small. I've been looking while I was stitching at this flower. This is sort of, where did I put it then? It's a hero sort of flower, but it would go over the top there and take this blue off. It'd be lovely to be working on stitching. Embroidering is the word, isn't it? As I drive along. I'm actually trimming quite a lot of this colour away. I'll leave a little bit because it's in that. Okay, that can go there into the garden. And ideally I should have something under here, and I actually am liking that yellow, so I wonder, yes. Right, so if we just the fabric, so it looks like those flowers, yep, are joining into the garden. Oh, I'm liking this now. And see what I mean? What do I mean, Kate? Just play. Do not be worried if it feels like it's not working, because you've just seen me completely change my mind. And I'm going to leave that little bit of blanket there. And so if you like, this was the inspiration piece, and it's taken a little while. See, there's me saying I'll leave that. Free. But if I pop that under there, I've got even more interest up to there. And of course, I'm doing these in the colours that I've been working on recently. You may have a completely different colour palette, and but the concept is the same. So I'm just encouraging you to play. Yep. And now this bit up here, I'm going to feature that and ruche that, and I could put a little something in that corner, and that little something could be what we chose not to use. Here's the, I've also got these. Just trial. I think it's got a bit too much green on it. But let's see if that little cross stitch can become part of this garden. I think so. Now, that is definitely a scrap. So that's in the bin. Okay, if I could just, I've got this as well. Not for this piece. Do you know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for the big, yeah, there it is. This is one of my favorite things to do. These started out separated, and they're going to go back together, but in a different pattern, and we don't need all of that brown now. Join. Yes, we can. Do we need that bit of green? Oh my gosh, I just stood up and realized how long I've been playing. That's what they say, time flies when you're having fun. There we are. They're not too rushed, because you can spend as much time as you want on them. Okay, so I showed you tiny pieces that I didn't use, and I ended up using bigger pieces, but there we are. We've got the start of 2 mini makes with scrappy bits that will be harvested or become something that goes straight onto another work. Thank you so much for joining me in my nest. I love having you here. Please take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.